right, lads. Welcome back for the Naked and Famous podcast. My name's Dan O'Connell.
Hey folks, Jimmy B.
I'm Rob Vieira.
And today we're joined by Andy, the world famous bartender, traveling extraordinaire. We went on a bit of a hiatus. We had a lot of work to get done. As you can see, we have a new studio here that we're working on. We're in the OMC, in the back soon to be. And we're about to bring this to Westchester, but we had a lot of work to get done. And hopefully now we can get back on track with making content for you guys. So let's speak about Andy here. He's a world famous bartender. We've a lot of you probably know him and seen he's got a great Instagram following. He's been traveling around the world doing performances. He does competition, flair bartending. Take it away, Andy. Sorry.
Hey, what's up? What's up? Thank you for inviting me, guys. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure.
Appreciate it. And so I'm Andy. My real name Andre, but like fuck it, fuck it. Fuck it. So I'm Andy, MDFK Andy. My character name. I'll call it like that.
Your character name is
MDFK.
MDFK.
Yeah, I have a
Like
story
that.
behind it.
What's
So
the story?
MDFK actually comes from motherfucker, to be honest.
Nice.
Yeah, it was like many years ago, but
Hide your mothers.
now it's like too late, to like changing something more, office, more formal or something. So I just it's MDFK. I'm not telling to everyone, but I think right now everyone is gonna like really find out what MDFK means.
They definitely
Even
gonna
they-
find out. Now.
How did you come across this? Is this like in a...
Oh, okay, so check this out. I was back in 2016, and I was competing for Monin World Cup. I was representing my home country.
Nice.
And in the mixology big contest. And when you prepare for such a big contest, you gotta do your routine. After you do your recipe, you gotta do your routine, with the speech as well. And you gotta practicing and keep practicing to make sure that everything is like, matching the timing, the pouring, what you say, what you put in the shaker and everything. And my mentor that time, Vlad, his name, back my home country, he was like, watching me. I was just telling me, yo, you should do that, you should not, say this. And every time I was doing it and saying my speech, every time I was like missing a word or like missing an ingredient because it was my very first, big competition of my life. And
The nerves.
I was like, bro, I was like so nervous. I was like, man, like, yo, fuck this, bro. Like, fuck this. He's so hard. He's so hard. Like, I feel like I'm gonna mess it out. And he was like, bro, you know what? You are a rock star, bro. Like, the people's gonna come there, to see you. You're not going there for them. You know what I'm saying? So you are he was like that. You are a motherfucking rock star. I was like, yo, you know what? I'm a fucking motherfucking rock star. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a motherfucking rock star.
MDFK.
And that's how I left with that mindset. I was like, I'm a motherfucking rock star. I went there. I did a pretty good job. Like, I took the 7th place, like
many
top
people?
10 worldwide. It was like all the countries in the world.
Seventh
nice.
place worldwide.
Worldwide, yeah.
Wow.
And just for reference, you're from Romania, right?
I'm from Romania,
So
born and raised.
representing Romania. Nice.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And after that, Instagram comes away. And I was like, yo, let me make a profile too, right? And I was like, okay, Andy, taken. Andy, I don't know, bartender, taken. I don't even remember how many tries I had to find the username. And it was like right after my competition, I was like, oh, motherfucker rockstar. Oh, it's too long. All right, let me try it out. Look up for slangs, for like abbreviations of the words. And I found out like in English, MDFK, it's just, abbreviation for motherfucker. I was like, MDFK, and I'm like, I cannot put my MDFK rockstar, Oh, MDFK Andy, fuck it, MDFK Andy. Okay, poof, available, done. And since then,
done
I'm
deal.
MDFK Andy.
That's hilarious.
Man, that was some good advice that your mentor gave you. Set your mentality up and look where you're at now, years later.
And see, prepping for a competition like that, how long were you defining or redefining your routine?
So it's like you gotta try. So we started up like 3 weeks ahead, more or less. But like every time on the way, you find like something that you would have changed. You will, add or really take out of the routine. Either it's an ingredient. No, actually, with the ingredients on that competition, you couldn't change it because that cocktail, you send it first. Yeah, if I'm not wrong. For that competition, we had to send the recipe first. And after that, you got to make your routine over the recipe you already send it to them. So in that routine, you always got to, add more. I think it's things. There are more things about the ethic.
What
more
was
about-
the cocktail that you?
I remember it
entered
was
into
something with
first?
cotton candy or something with like literally I bought a freaking cotton candy machine. And I was like, that one was for the garnish, and I was literally fucking doing a cotton candy right there on the stage. You know, in Paris was the competition, and put it on top of the drink. And because it was organized and sponsored by Monin, I know for sure the ingredient was cotton candy syrup for Monin,
Nice.
and I don't remember the other ingredients. I think it was something with vodka or or gin. I don't remember the rest of the spirits, but I know for sure it was the cotton candy flavor Monin brand because you should have put out
Yeah.
in the spotlight.
Right. So let me ask you. You started flair bartending, but were you
Yeah.
originally just bartending regular?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what brought you to flair?
Man, I think
Because
Just
it's
because I
it's a
was-
huge gap, right? It's very different.
actually I didn't even want to be a bartender, So I was
Right.
like back in the college, I was like broke as fuck, and I like, bro, I just need a freaking job,
Yeah.
I've been working in the industry since I was 16, in the freaking high school. I was working like a busser, a server, and
The industry chooses you, man. You don't
Yeah,
choose
that's
industry.
what
The
I found
industry
out on the
chooses
way.
you. It does. It does.
And I was 19 back then, and I was looking out for a job. I was like pool tables, maintenance dude. I was like, okay, so let me go there because it's like nighttime shift, so I can go to school during of the day. And I went there, and the owner saw my resume that I was working, in the hospitality like a server, and he put me some random questions about liquor. Supposedly, I answered. Good, I think, because right in that night, he called me, yo, can we come back at the office? I got a job for you. I was like, yo, fuck it, yeah. And I came back there, and he was like, hey, welcome to the team. Can you start tomorrow? Yeah, you're going to be a bartender. I was like, and that was the moment where I was like, kind of scared and excited in the same time because I didn't even want to, I would have go jump behind of the bar, but I never done it because I know it's like so, when you see, from out of the bar, it's like so many shit doing like over there. It like looks so complicated. And I was so scared and so excited in the same time. And I just started. And I just go with the flow. 19, 20, I'm starting to make so much money, back in the day. I never made so much money. I even like, fuck school, And I drop out the college.
What
And
were you in college for?
I did like 3 different ones, man. Like,
Yeah?
like a year each.
What were you studying?
So I was starting with like a relationship, international relationship, and relationship. I was trying to translate from Romanian in English. International relationship and European studies, just because I always hate the mathematics and all the numbers type of classes shit. And I was like, yo, let me go over there where it's not numbers. But I was way worse, and I didn't like it. And after that, I tried to switch it up to political science. I didn't like it either. I was like, yo, I remember when I was like in the 7th grade, I used to like a lot of geography. And to geography, I started studying things like meteorology. And what is meteorology? It's a lot of numbers too. I was like, fuck, dude.
Everything's numbers.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You
and I
almost
just,
became a politician by the sounds of it.
yeah. No, I done it like 4 months in that one too. And didn't happen. And was back in East Europe, it's a big thing, flair bartending. Like most of the guys, they doing it. And you literally can see like left and right everywhere. And I was like, bro, I want to be a flair bartender too. And I start practicing with the YouTube. That's why I very first started.
YouTube University.
Yeah.
YouTube all
Learn
the way.
anything.
now.
On the freaking couch,
Yeah.
So I was like, for example, the around the world move. And, till you get the muscle memory, till you, implemented that move, you break a lot of bottles and you break the, because
course.
like it's always going, it's not landing on your hand, especially when you start it. It's landing on the fucking wall. So
Yeah.
I got in so many fights with my father because because my freaking wall on top of the couch was like all scratched
Destroyed.
because of the bottles.
Of course.
And I was like practicing when he's not home. So even like that, he saw the scratches on the freaking wall. So I
I've
had to go
seen-
to school.
I've seen people like set up almost like a little like training area where they use bar mats on the ground, bar mats on the wall. You ever see this kind of thing?
Yeah, that's why after that I was like, yo, I gotta go to school if I want to learn this.
Right.
So I went
So you
to
went to
school.
school for it?
Yeah, I went to school. I did
Nice,
some classes,
yeah.
but like classes now no more longer they a week, 2 weeks,
Ah, cool.
and they teaching you just like the basic moves, you know how they called, and after that it's all up to you
Yeah, of
to
course.
keep practicing, develop your own style, your own elegance, your own fluence of movements
You
and
got to
things.
take responsibility for your own work, right?
Yeah, and that's the very first time when I really train in a like professional flair room, like with mats everywhere, dude. So it was like super safe for myself too.
Yeah.
And this is how I started. And after that, because it was summer, I was like going outside every day. It's like working out, like you go outside 4 times a week, 5 times a week, 3-4 hours every day, and you practice. Put your freaking headset.
How many hours do you think you put in?
Yo, a lot, man.
Yeah?
A lot, hundreds. For real.
Hundreds,
At
right?
least at the beginning. Now, like I'm kind of, I just like stick with the basics. It's muscle memory, most of them.
You know what
But
you're
at the
doing
very
now.
first beginning was a lot of physical and mental work and like
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I tried it one time and I got that bottle, the plastic
Yeah.
bottle. You ever see that one? It's like a white plastic bottle. And I was like, let me try and throw from this hand to this hand. And it dropped. I'm
Boom.
like, nah, not doing this. I didn't have the determination to do it. It is very, very
Takes a
impressive.
couple of months till
I actually
get on track.
wanted to set up in the basement here. We're setting up almost like a cocktail laboratory. So we focus heavily on cocktails, and we have like a lot of equipment in this specific restaurant that we don't have in our others. That we're trying to elevate our game and give ourselves more unique touch, and But I was planning on actually putting bar mats on the walls and building it so that we could use it as a training room for flair, just for if any of the guys wanted to start doing it or if ourselves wanted to practice, because it's really hard to practice. Like to go outside, a lot of people, you don't feel comfortable just people looking at them.
Yeah, I feel it.
Whereas if we have a safe space here, say, and we have it set so we're not smashing bottles everywhere, I feel like some of
Yeah.
the guys might come and use it, or myself and James might be more inclined to use it or get it going, because it definitely adds to showmanship. When you're
for sure.
building, I've watched like some of your videos, and it definitely makes the difference, the experience for the guest. We focused a lot on the product, but the delivery of the product and also the showmanship that is provided with the flair is amazing. So I do think it's something that should be implemented at least a little bit. At least a little touch. A little bit goes a long way when you see
Everyone
someone.
has his own flair though. Like for
Yeah.
example, like your tattoos, your way you wear your mustache, it's still kind of a flair.
Oh, yeah.
Your chain over the shirt.
No, I
You
want
still
to
don't
throw
fit.
something 3 feet in the air and then catch it on
We
my
want
own.
Rob to do it. We want
We
Rob
can
to
work on
practice
it.
with the knives in the kitchen.
Or
Flair
like
with the
that,
knives, yeah.
You want my fingers on my hand?
So you were mentioning your mentor, Vlad.
Yeah, one of them.
How did you meet this guy, or how did he influence you? Like, are you friends from college?
We used to work together. He was my bar
Okay.
manager.
Okay.
And he was like super, super strict. Which back in the days, I was like, bro, like I choose this, job just because it's fun. It's not because it's liquor all the way, ladies all the way and shit. But like every time so I started to work with him, and he was like super strict. He was like even punish us for like different mistakes that were if we were drink too much or like many stupid little things. It was like punish us like end of the shit, 50 push-ups. Otherwise, you're not gonna get your tip.
I love that. You should start doing that.
That's amazing.
Push-ups, or like you do the.
Some of the guys won't be getting tips.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I remember one of them, but like he couldn't even do it. He was like, "Okay, just like take my money, bro." Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right? Too much.
or just do
cerveza.
the barbecue job or whatever. She was very strict. Like, yeah, we have fun. We deliver an experience for the guests. Like, we have fun between us. We can drink. We can
Someone has to be the bad
turn it
guy.
up. But like, we gotta be responsible. And now, like looking back then, I really appreciate that I had that opportunity to work with this guy, because like he formed me like a person, the way that I'm working and the way that I see the the operation behind of the bar as well. And yeah, I was working with him in that on that time when I was practicing for the competition.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, I again a kind of respect for him during all these years working with him. I asked him, yo, help me out. I was like, yo, I got you, man. You're a motherfucking rock star. You got this shit.
MDFK.
Yeah, it's great to have somebody that's going to take you under your wing and kind of lead you in the right direction.
Yeah.
But I also feel like you need that discipline, like somebody that's
That's
structured.
exactly what I was going to say. You need discipline. Like without discipline,
In
you're-
every single.
in every
field.
aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah, because discipline helps lead to greatness. You know, like without the discipline of training yourself to get the muscle memory, without the discipline of knowing where your limit is with alcohol, without the discipline, you'll end up in a place where you don't have any true opportunity.
Yeah.
You know? I have a question for you. What is your favorite country that you've been in doing the flair competitions or doing your flair
Performance.
performances?
Man, South America for sure.
Yeah.
Yo,
Which
I
part?
remember I've been in couple, but like in Panama was like 4 years ago. Bro, like I was literally like freaking, monthly crew coming out down there, man. Like,
You said Motley Crue.
yeah, man.
You were like Motley. That's crazy.
I love Motley Crue.
They gave you like that warm of a welcome.
Yeah, man. And like I was doing the show, they were like the freaking bar was like packed, man. I think there were like 80, 120 people coming just like, to see the performance. It was like a pretty tiny spot, And man, I felt like I was on a concert, Like, yeah, it was an awesome crowd, beautiful ladies, a lot of, welcoming from them. I was like signing T-shirts and shit. It was like, bro, I will move on here. Yeah.
Nice.
So South America for sure.
Were you just
South
signing
America?
T-shirts, or were you signing other things as well?
Everything comes in, bro.
Nice. So when you started the flair, did you find yourself, because now you don't work in a specific restaurant, right?
No.
You work for yourself privately doing events. So like, how was the transition to managing yourself as almost an act, right? Like, because most performers have a manager, right? But I'm assuming you don't have a manager.
I don't.
Right. So how did you find your way into going from, okay, I come in and I do my shift like I'm told by my bar manager or by my boss, to now I need to showcase myself as a product and performance as an act? And how did people come to you, or did you have to put it out there and go find places to perform and,
Yeah,
make a
everything
living
was
from?
like super, baby steps for me. So I've been working with for Nusret, the Soul Bay dude.
Baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So I was full time with that guy, and
Did
obviously,
you taught him this?
yeah,
I have a question. How is that guy, like, working for him?
yeah, he's pretty tough.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's pretty, it's black or white. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. That's how he built up such a big, restaurant empire worldwide. Like you said, coming back from with discipline.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty tough to work for him, but in the same time, I got a lot of exposure. That's why I got to work for myself right now, because a lot of like good people coming on the restaurant.
Yeah.
And that's how I started having my very first gigs. My very first guest shifts. Wasn't that that often, just because I was full time, but like after that, month to month, and after that I started asking for days off or for weeks off, because I had to like travel. And at the very first beginning, they were okay with it. I was like, okay, go. And after that, they were start, again, which they're right, because it wasn't that fair for my coworkers. And
Your priority became your own self.
and I was like, bro, I have to leave. And they were, thanks God, I don't know why, they were kind of, love me. And they were like, okay, we can go through a common sense. You can have your own, schedule. At least like let us know ahead of time. So I was still working with them, open up locations for them all around the States, and doing my gigs as well. And thanks God, I got in that moment when I like requesting a lot of off time. And I had another conversation with them, and they were pretty pissed this time. I was like, bro, I think we had a deal.
Yeah.
I was trying to milk the cow as much as I can. Like, I thought we had a deal. Like, what are you doing? And I was like, no, like literally, like you cannot do this no more. It's not like it's not even legal what we're doing right now. And, I was like, okay, so
there's really only so far as you can go with somebody,
yeah. And
Well, like
I
they've
just
got their
left.
priority being their business.
Of course.
Yeah.
And now your priority is your journey and getting exposure and,
Yeah.
developing. I don't know if you're developing your skills at this point or you're already past that, but developing yourself as an act and managing, like I imagine it's a hard thing to make money out of this without great management of your time.
Yeah.
Because you're traveling so much. Like, I don't know if they pay. Do they pay for you to get to the places?
Yeah, always.
Oh, well, that's great.
It's like
right?
I'm not paying to go work. It's like
Yeah, they're paying you to go work.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
That's everybody's dream, really, right?
I think so. I don't know. Everyone
It's
has
my
his own
dream for sure.
You're living the
Yeah.
dream, man.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool though. I like it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Getting to see the world, other people paying you to do it, and
It's-
then you're having a good time.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, and get paid on top of it. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
yeah.
This is what Vlad told me once back in the days as well. Like, bro, keep in mind, like making drinks, meeting new people every day, meeting new ladies every day, having alcohol, like around you, and getting paid on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like a party.
It's the good life,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and I'm kind of managing everything, but things that I have a lot of friends who have their own company as well. So every time they find a gig where they need MDFK Andy, the character MDFK Andy, or a flair bartender, as well, they hit me up. So things that I have a lot of connections, a lot of friends in the industry. So if I'm not having anything fine on my own, I work for different companies. I'm like a freelancer. I work with everyone.
Yeah, that's great.
I see you travel around America a lot. Like, I've seen you in Florida. Obviously, you're in New York. Like, where do you spend the most time in America?
So I'm here based. I like to call it my warehouse in New
Nice.
York. I keep my stuffs in here. But I feel like lately I've been pretty often to Texas.
Nice.
Yeah.
I heard
Texas
you
is
two,
big.
yeah, and you two were talking about Texas before. You said how much you really
Yeah,
enjoy
man, it's
Texas.
such a great time out there.
Yeah,
I
I,
never
haven't,
took
I
it.
haven't
What city?
been. I really
Dallas.
gotta go.
Dallas, yeah, it's great.
Oof. The
I-
people out there, man, and the food and the prices when you have such a great time with so less money, and yeah, everything is beautiful out there. Love it.
I'd say there's a lot of
And the
new
weather.
restaurants opening in Dallas.
Yeah,
right?
man, Dallas grew up so much, developed so much, and so fast lately.
Nice.
Place to be out here.
Yeah. I took a trip out to last summer. I took a trip across America. I was hitting the tails of the cocktails, and so I stopped off there, and I was in Florida for a little bit. But I made my way across to Texas, and I ended up San Antonio and Austin and Dallas, and I didn't expect it to be what it was. It's like very metropolitan. It's very new. It's very gentrified. Like, there's a lot of, you can tell that it's fresh. You can tell that there's new people, and you can tell that it's growing. The restaurant industry is really good.
Since COVID, yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone from California, they immigrated to Texas.
Yeah,
Just because all these, freaking regulations in California.
yeah, and laws
They
and
come to
taxes and
Texas.
everything. Yeah, I've heard. Someone told me a long time ago that the trends tend to start in California, and then they make their way across the country. So it would make sense that everybody from California that has moved to Texas, now Texas is like growing into its own.
Yeah, up there.
Does it? This might be a stupid question, but does it feel like Texas? I feel like when I imagine Texas, I see cowboy hats and guns and like rodeos and cowboys and all that stuff.
I cannot answer the question just because I haven't been in so many. Actually, I haven't been in any other city beside of Dallas yet.
Ah, okay.
But if I have to compare with Texas that I saw in movies and magazines and things, you don't feel like in Texas. Actually, you're gonna see like a lot of big trucks. You see like each here and there like a dude with a cowboy hat, but you don't really see a lot of Texas vibe.
Austin didn't feel like Texas to me.
I haven't been to-
Austin, when I was in Austin, I felt like I was back in like the East Village.
No way.
Yeah, like I
That's
felt.
what I heard too.
Yeah,
It's like East Village
I felt
out
like
there.
the people who are now in Austin, like the nightlife was great. The people were great. Everybody was super friendly. San Antonio felt like Texas. When I was in San Antonio, at that like river walk and
Oh, yeah.
stuff,
I went-
that felt like Texas.
Forgot about that. I went there.
It's nice, right?
It's nice. It was kind of, but like you wouldn't stay more than.
No, I was there for a day.
It's
Yeah,
more than
but
enough.
like
Sorry.
that's what Texas is, right? But actually, I had great Mexican food in San Antonio. Like
Oh, yeah.
probably the best Mexican food I had. But I was like, you're so close to the border there.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, it
Basically
was
our Mexico.
rocking.
Yeah, nice.
So, question for you, right? What is your favorite cocktail?
Favorite cocktail, man. To be honest, I don't have a favorite cocktail. It's like I feel like for me, at least, cocktails is like you going with the mood. You go with the people. So now I'm hanging out with Irish dudes. I may have just like
Jameson.
Jameson,
Guinness.
Jameson and ginger ale or whatever you guys drinking, and like freaking Guinness. Like I feel like it goes with the environment, goes with the people that I hang out with.
Absolutely.
Goes with the vibe.
There's a
with
different
the
drink
vibe.
for a different time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, let's say you're out on a night out. Actually, I have another one for you. Give me your top 3 favorite bars in New York City.
I used to like a lot Angel Share, man. The
Angel Share is
yeah, but
amazing.
like they changed location, and but I haven't been to the new location yet. I don't even know if they
I
found a new location. or
Yeah,
not.
they just found a new location.
I know they
I'm
were
not
like-
sure if
they had
it's
like-
reopened yet or not, but I think it might be just there.
They had like a temporary one. I don't know
Yeah.
if they moved to the permanent one. Anyways, but Angel Share was one of my favorites.
The old Angel Share was amazing.
Oof.
It was real good, right?
Such a
But the
crazy story
team,
there.
the team has split a lot, right? Like the Angel Share group. Now you have martinis, you have double chicken, please. You have. Isn't there another one that just opened
They're,
up
all-
recently?
I feel like they're definitely, that's an umbrella group where they've all went there. It's almost like Milk and Honey, where these people have started off in like a really great culture of cocktails, and each person developed such a good skill set that they broke down, spread out, and opened up their own great places each, which I don't know how associated they are with the initial hospitality group, but they definitely all like umbrella from like Angel Share. You can see when you go into the associated bars that it's like very, that feeling, that culture is still there in essence, you know. But yeah, Angel Share is amazing. Have you ever been to Angel Share, Rob?
I haven't. No.
It was like inside a noodle bar, right? Like
Yeah.
a Japanese old style noodle bar. Then you go upstairs and it's very like dingy, divey, and then you go through this little door and there's just a long
Yeah.
wooden bar.
And it's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
With a
old
big
and elegant
painting.
looking.
No, it's all there.
Like it's trippy.
Yeah.
It's trippy because everything's like very. The noodle bar is very Asian style. You have that pine wood, like that very yellowish, light brown color, and it looks like a ramen shop. And then you open up this thing, and it's like old everything. It's
Yeah.
like, it's real cool.
So that's your, what are your other 2?
I think the second one will be maybe employees only.
Yeah, employees only is great.
Because
And it's fun.
it's a destination though.
Yeah.
If you go there, you know for sure you're gonna have, if you get in,
Yeah,
you know for sure you're gonna have a good time and good cocktails.
you're gonna meet people.
and you're gonna meet like quality people.
Yeah, I feel like employees only is a great representation of a cocktail bar, especially for New York, where it's not over pretentious, even though their drinks are amazing, and you know you can go in there and have a good time. You're not going to be made sit in one place or do one thing. You can still get the vibe of, you know, meeting new people. It's kind of tight, but I feel like that's their game. Like they wanted it that way. Like employees only is a place where like people get laid in employees only, right? Like people go to employees only. It's like you're gonna meet someone. It's definitely like one of New York City's top destination cocktail bars, and it has been for a long time. And them guys did the same thing. They all have their little employees only, you know, the little symbol on them. They've all went and opened up their own places, and they've won in Singapore now. I don't know, have you been to the one? I haven't been to Singapore, but I've seen and I've heard of great things that they've got one in Singapore now.
And I know it's like a commitment over there. Like once you get in,
Yeah,
like you know you're gonna be there for a while. Actually, to get a bartender spot, you have to be no matter what of your
Bar back,
experience
yeah.
in barback for like a year, 2
yeah.
years or something.
They run an apprenticeship program almost, right?
So yeah, like you know when you step in, it's a commitment for you
Yeah.
for like at least a couple of years.
That's actually something that
It's
we
not like a summer type of job.
No, we took that method from employees only and utilized it at the Blind Pig, where all of our bartenders, for the most part, actually all of our bartenders, even we had guys who were in fine dining and we started them off as barbacks again because our program doesn't equate equally to what you were doing in another place. Like we need you to start from the bottom, figure out how to build all of our syrups, figure out how to build all of our shrubs, figure out the place that we want everything, how we do everything. And then we've had all of our barbacks now at one point were or all of our bartenders at one point were barbacks, except for the one gent, Justin Escobar, who started out and opened up the place with us. But from the get-go, like we have 5 homegrown bartenders who are all barbacks now. And I feel like it definitely grows the culture. Like you're getting more of a competency and more of a like the care and the time and the effort and the precision that you want out of somebody. It's not just, oh well, I did this before in another place. And I think employees only, like they were the first place that I see and do that. It was like serious. They're making you do an apprenticeship, and you might know what you're doing, but you don't know how we want you to do it and how we want you to do it specific. So they're like at this point they're one of the like standards. Like they've set the standard for a cocktail bar in New York. You know, employees
That's what I
only.
see, like, too, yeah.
What about your third one?
Third, maybe Katana Kitten, which is like right over there. I like the vibe over there. It's like super, casual, super, like, you don't really have to dress up super,
You
cool
feel
to
like
get
you're in a
in.
dive bar.
Yeah,
And
but
then
like,
the drink program is like,
oof.
what were they? They were ranked number 6.
I think they're definitely in top
They
10.
were in the top 10.
Yeah, this
And-
year.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
year. And definitely in North America, they were in the top 10. But even in the top 50 in the world, they were in the top 10 also. And it's not their first time. They've hit that mark a lot. The owner, I believe he has, I might be wrong and I might be misspeaking, but I believe they have some affiliation also with, or else you see them palling around a lot with the Angel Share group also. But the Asian push into the cocktail renaissance has been huge. Like they are bringing a different level and a different standard to what was cocktails in America, definitely, and probably all over the world, because you see their influence everywhere. I think the group who have the cocktail bar, the Angel Share group, they hit the world's top 50 4 times maybe last year or the year before. They and I'm pretty sure they had 2 in the top 10. One was in Shanghai, and they had 2, they're like really, really pushing the envelope in every aspect. Like that's the group that I follow when I'm watching them, and the Maybe Sammy group I really enjoy. But I feel like, Katana Kitten, their highballs are out of this world.
Oh, yeah.
Highballs,
That is.
yeah.
Just
100%.
on that point that you bring up, in this documentary I was watching recently, they said that one of the main components that Japanese cocktail culture, I suppose, promotes the industry is one of the things that happened in Japan is they never went through a prohibition era. So in America, there was a prohibition phase for like 30 years that you couldn't sell alcohol. It was like illegal. So they never went through that. So because they never went through that, they're like 30 years ahead. But then again, you need that innovation, and you need people to constantly push the boundaries. Which
And I feel they are like pretty good on. Sorry for all the Japanese people out there. Like, besides everything, they're 30 years ahead of us. We're pretty good on copying things and make it better.
of
Yeah,
course,
making it their own.
yeah, you take it and you're not trying to reinvent the wheel, but you're also
Speak
always
low.
trying to push.
The name of the cocktail
limit.
bar is Speak Low. The one that I was speaking about, that made the top 50 from that group is Speak Low. But they have 3 others that won't complain. Speak Low. I follow them on Instagram, and I'm constantly watching. You know what else? Their glassware is amazing. Like when you, the just overall the Japanese hospitality groups, their glassware is always very intricate. They always go over the top with it, and it's always elegant and it's always amazing. I don't know how they can afford to constantly keep up with the breaks, because we have so many breaks. It's like honestly, we make no money just because of all the glasses that we break almost, But they're
Imagine having a free bartender in it.
Oh, jeez.
man, we couldn't afford to keep you. We couldn't afford to keep you.
Man, I always love the bathrooms in Japanese culture. That's my thing. Every time I
Are you
walk
talking
into
about the electric
bathrooms-
toilets?
You know, the bidets that they're called, but like
Bidets.
no, but like they're always like every time like Morimoto, like they used to have a beautiful bathroom. Like every time I go into a Japanese like establishment, I'm always impressed with the bathrooms.
Myself and James, we go to one, and you've been there with us as well. We go to one ramen shop a lot because it's open late, Nishida Shoten on 49th and 2nd. And we go there a lot, and you walk in and it's very old looking and it's very like traditional Japanese. And then you go into the bathroom, and I can't believe every time you go into the bathroom how nice it is. But they have this big throne, this big electric throne, and I feel like it's like almost gonna, give me some sort of like cleanse. Yeah,
Blast
like I'm
off.
like it's I'm 100. I'm like there's
You're getting
something.
blessed.
Yeah, I'm not utilizing this. This can like this can do a lot more than I know. I feel like it's almost like an AI robot, but
What a waste.
A
Such
waste.
such a high tech machine is capable of so much, and all it does is wash your arse.
yeah, yeah, that's funny.
So, Andy, I have a question for you. So, since you've traveled around so much, and you're obviously, rubbing shoulders with people who are well known in the industry, do you notice any? How would I say this? Do you notice any technological advancements that are becoming more popular? Like before we started the podcast, we were talking about the machine that essentially imprints on top of the drinks and you can get a picture of your face or something like that. But is there anything that's really, really new that you've seen?
Really, really new. I think there was in Miami that little robots. I think working for like delivery companies. You're just like chilling on the sidewalk and you're just like beep 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 beep. For, like, and they even like say something like let me go through or something like this, and
Also,
you just
they're
look up.
rude
It's
too.
like a little type of TV box, like with tube, like back in the days, and
Makes
it's just
sense,
like on the
Miami
roads and
robot.
just walking on the sidewalk. I still don't know, very sure what it's about, but I think it's like a type of delivery.
Yeah, like
Company.
a food runner.
It's like,
drink
yeah.
delivery
What
person.
about any trends? Any upcoming trends that you've noticed, or any trends that you've followed that you see in the cocktail industry or in the hospitality industry?
I figured lately, especially the well-known cocktail bars, they don't really use garnishes no more.
Yeah,
They just like pa pa pa.
I feel like that's a lot of it comes down to like this sustainability and the trying to have no waste, which is kind of it's almost like a catch-22 because it's like if you do have waste, you can use it as a garnish, right? Like we've had like pulp left over that we've mixed with some citric acid and some sugar, and then we dehydrate it and we cut it into little molds or shapes, and then we use that as a garnish because it's waste. But also, I've noticed that you're right. Like it's very it's almost like too much. Less is more now, right? Where they're trying to make it more simplistic. But I do feel like there's a big push on sustainability and like in our industry, like, do you really need like a whole pineapple on top of your drink? we actually made
For
a video.
Instagram, you do.
Yeah, for Instagram,
Instagram
you
you
do.
do. For
Like,
your
you know?
TikTok.
Yeah,
you
it's
do.
all about visuals today.
Yeah,
nowadays.
people do eat with their eyes.
Yeah, very first.
Yeah, but definitely in regards to that, you don't. Again, it's just the visual aspect. When it comes down to actually tasting the product, is it going to matter if there's a pineapple or not? You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And
The Dead Rabbit's big on that, right? When me and you were in there and we were training and we were chatting away to Gillian Vogue and stuff, they were very big on if the garnish doesn't add to the drink, then
Yeah.
there's no garnish.
Yeah.
If it doesn't add the flavor or it doesn't add an element to the drink, example is like obviously if you're an orange peel, you're expressing the orange oil onto the drink. So when you drink it, you're getting that extra blast of orange. If it doesn't add to the drink, then they don't want it as
Yeah.
part of it.
yeah, it's nutmeg, and then a couple of different oils: grapefruit, lemon, and orange, and nutmeg, and that's it. But all of those add like the fragrance to the drink, which gives it the next level. But you never see anything. You never see pineapple leaf. You never see lime wedge. You never see strawberries. You never see anything like in there. Even the super creative stuff, you never see.
So
Just don't want it to do
funny enough, a garnish that I wanted to work on, that I had been planning on for like a year and a half, and I just haven't gotten around to it, was like I wanted to incorporate, because obviously we have senses and like we're sensory things, and it's like we're tasting, we're smelling, we're seeing, we're feeling. We've got all these senses, and the more senses you can bring out when you're giving someone an experience, the more memorable it becomes. So I wanted to incorporate like a QR code into the cocktail that when you got this cocktail, we could lead it to, if you wanted to use your phone, obviously if you don't, toss it away, but we could lead it to a video, and the video could be maybe something humorous, and now we can make you laugh with the cocktail. So an example is like we give you a jungle bird, and the jungle bird has a little QR code in it, and you're like, oh, what's this? And you scan it, and it's a video of, say, me and James doing some comical skit.
Huzzah!
Yeah, exactly, right? So now it's like, and then they laugh, and then they remember, and then it's like a whole extra layer to the experience that you're trying to provide.
Kind of cool, yeah.
Yeah, that was something that, like, and I feel like the more technology becomes available, like you see this, we'll go into, but the more technology that becomes available, the more access and ability the likes of us who aren't like tech geniuses have to doing stuff like this. And one example is maybe Sammy, they dropped a new cocktail menu, and I'm not in Sydney, but I follow them and I make sure to watch what they're doing because I feel like they're another group that's pushing the envelope, the Maybe group. They dropped a menu and they named the menu Mirage. Mirage is the name of the menu, right? And they used Dream AI, which is like a art visual generator, to basically background all of, so they have one cocktail, and let's say it's called the pear, and it's a golden pear, and now in that cocktail there's an explanation, and the background then is AI generated, and it's generated to be like an additive to just, and their menu then ends up being almost like an art gallery. So every different cocktail has an AI generated background, which is like very visual art forward, very nuanced. And you're looking at it and you're like, just the experience of reading through their cocktail menu from the other side of the world is great. And then, but it didn't take them anything. Like it cost them $9 to download this AI app. And now they just type in a little, you know, this is the name of the cocktail, this is the name of our cocktail bar, and these are the flavors, and we want a background that represents this. And some of it is like art that it looks like Picasso drew, and then some of it is art that looks like someone seen in a DMT trip. So you have like such a far like gap, and like then it's like the experience from me as a potential guest who's reading this is like, wow, they put so much into this, but actually it wasn't. It was a little bit of thought, and now the new technology that's available being utilized to the best of the ability, and it becomes a much deeper experience for the guest, which I think is crazy. Like when you see where it's going, it's like out of this world.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, 100%. Like, do you use any technology, like any of the AI generators? Have you tried the Chat GPT?
Ah, I did. Yeah,
It's crazy,
obviously,
right?
Yeah.
Like you're
I had
sitting
to
there
make a menu
talking.
for someone. I was like, oh,
That's what I'm saying, right? That's exactly what I'm
I
saying.
delivered it right away, right the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Bro,
even
I've been working all night on it.
Yeah.
and
That's why it costs so much.
Yeah.
ChatGPT.
right? And this is like, there's a South Park episode where they're like Chat GPT, and they're just using it to respond to their girlfriends. So they'll just be like, oh, they'll just copy and paste the message that their girlfriend sends them into Chat GPT, and then reply, and then it's given like the best, like something that you'd never think of, and it's loving and it's caring and it's thoughtful, and now the woman's happy, and the reality is like he's actually just like pawning the work off on AI.
I have a friend back in Florida talking about ChatGPT. He really told me how to use ChatGPT like 110% of their capacity.
Yeah.
So literally, if you're gonna become a member, you have like more access to their intelligence.
Yeah.
So literally, you can create a team on a ChatGPT. You literally can have like a freaking counter. You can have a PR manager. You can have like an HR manager, and your own secretary. So
Yeah.
you literally tell them, "Hey, forgot everything I told you so far. Now you are my HR manager. Okay, I'm your HR manager. Please hire whatever. I need a bar manager. Okay, now you're gonna supervise the bar manager, and you keep giving him tasks. And after that, you're like, yo, hire a freaking counter, and the same. And he can. That's how he keeps his business back in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, he literally create a whole team on ChatGPT, doing all his job without paying any beside of that membership,
Yeah.
premium membership. You
And-
have payroll any other physical person.
Don't tell it. Right, but it's crazy. It's like it's
yeah,
really
We'll
gonna
edit this piece out.
it's really
Yeah.
gonna innovate like everything, right? Because it's like how much more efficient can you become having essentially like a slave, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's an
Literally.
AI slave that you can tell to do anything you want, whether it's your homework or whether it's responding to your mother-in-law, right? Sorry, Tracy. And then also you can say, okay, well, I want you to keep an eye on all of my staff. I want you to reply in our, our company's email to keep on top of the cleaning.
Literally
I want you to
everything, yeah.
every week, like without fail, I want at least one email written to our like staff saying, make sure you keep on top of the cleaning. Uniforms have to be presentable. You can have this constantly, and like you
And a
said,
lot of
you could name it. You could say, all right, your name is Matilda, and you could tell everybody we've hired a human resource manager named Matilda, and Matilda is going to keep emailing all the guys to keep on their ass. You know, right? It's crazy.
But like another trick with ChatGPT, like when you ask something, you gotta give him an attribution first. So let's take, because we're talking about cocktails
Yeah.
and like menus, like if you want a recipe with rum and whatever else, anything, and first of all you tell him, hey, you are the best bartender in the world, haven't been for the last 20 years. You've been winning every single competitions in the world
Wow.
in the last 20 years. Yes, I'm the best bartender in the world for the last 20 years, the best mixolog, whatever, Diageo, world class, winning every single year for the last how many years you won it. After he got that attribution, you ask him a task upon that attribution. Now, please create a cocktail with rum and whatever else that hasn't been before, never ever in this world. Boom, 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 boom. And you have a cocktail that created by a Diageo world class winner
Yeah.
because you give him an attribution first.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing, right?
All right, I'm going
Yeah,
home
man.
down on the chat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you put him, you put him in
D'Angelo,
something
you're done.
interesting.
We want you to be a podcast producer.
We're gonna upload all these videos. We want you to edit them.
Now, so we've discussed in the last word, we discussed the positives of ChatGPT, but does that ever make you feel weary about the negative effects it can have on the industry? Like you just spoke about the robots basically bringing drinks to the table, but
Yeah, I saw
do you,
that in Vegas.
do you think after a while it's going to strip down?
Yeah,
every
because
single
at the
part
end
of
of
the
the day,
industry?
when you go in a, if talking about bars right now, when you go in a bar, you're not going necessarily for just for booze, right? Like you can order your booze from any other liquor app. You go over there for the experience. You go over there to meet people. You go over there, for the bartender, like to make you to just to listen to your bullshit, that you haven't been through the last days, and like having a robot like I saw in Vegas that just like choosing the cocktail and delivering to you, like you don't get the experience no more. Just get the booze.
It's a vending machine.
Yeah, like,
It's not the same
exactly.
thing.
It's like a vending machine. So I feel like in this way, I still feel like actually I'm 100% sure it's not gonna work.
No.
This part of the job of the IT, like replacing the bartenders.
They would still need to hire someone to sit here and entertain with conversation
yeah, because
Right.
you wanted to stay there and
and to cultivate conversation.
like,
right? Like,
what's the concept of the bar otherwise?
as a bartender, I'm sure you've like recognized this, right? When you have a guest or say two guests at the bar and you have, let's say they're your regulars and you know what these people are about, you know the type of people they are, and you know that they're good conversationalists, they're nice people and they're friendly. And now you get new people come into the bar, right? And you're having a conversation with three people, and then you try to introduce them or get the regulars who you know what these people are about. So it's not like they're complete strangers to you. You kind of already know what they're going to bring to the conversation, and you want them to chime in because one, it relieves you of having to just keep speaking to these people.
Because I'm busy with the other tickets.
Yeah, exactly. And it also it produces bar culture because you know what the people want, what they're coming here for, and you're helping them get it by introducing them to a good conversationalist or a nice guy or a nice lady, or there's a lot of endearing people who come into the bar who this is the way human culture has been for so long, that this is how they know that they can entertain themselves and people. Like, for instance, we have a guy who comes into the bar all the time. His name's Josh, right? Josh loves to meet new people, and when people come into the bar, he'll immediately tell them what we have on our menu, what's great. He doesn't like to sit, so he'll jump up and be like, "Oh, take my seat.
you
I
should
like to
hire
stand."
me, man.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Is like you almost don't have to. Like when you have a bunch of people like this, now it's you almost are working on our behalf, but you're doing it as a guest, enjoying the time, and you're adding to the culture of what we've tried to procure. And now you're making my job easier because I know I can sit a wife and a husband beside you, and you're going to make conversation with them. You're going to add to their life, like add to their experience in the blind pig. And on top of that, you're also going to relieve me of the duty of having to keep these people entertained. And obviously, you're not going to ignore the people, but you can't just sit here and speak to just these two people.
Yeah.
So when you have like almost buffers, the people who come in, you're never going to be able to, an AI technology is never going to be able to take that over because what people are seeking is human interaction.
Hey, are you?
Yeah, exactly, right?
This
People are seeking the human interaction, and they don't just initially want it from the bartender, but it's almost the bartender's job to set the atmosphere and make sure that,
deliver
okay, yeah, exactly,
an
right?
experience.
Like you're going to have the people who, you know, this guy's here to talk to people, and you know these two people, it's their first time here, and I'm going to talk to them, I'm going to deliver all the drinks, I'm going to make sure that they have a great experience. But what adds to it is if other people in here are also enjoying and having a great experience and are going to add to it, because, you know, the more people adding to the same thing, the greater it's going to become. So I feel like when you have like great regulars like that, you're not going to get that from AI. Like you're going to get that from just human interaction. And like,
For sure.
yeah, you know, like there's no way it's ever gonna, it's never gonna go. The only thing that I can see happening is like, we will be relieved of the duties of carrying drinks, bus bins, the actual labor, but we'll be left with the, you know, the most human part of it, which would be like the conversation and the one-to-one interactions. Or, you know, some people are just looking to meet a husband or meet a wife, or, you know, meet someone for the
shorty.
night. Yeah, exactly. Shorty. Someone's looking to just get laid. It's like, you're not getting laid with the, oh, well, maybe you will one day.
You
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
Maybe you will one day.
Do
Maybe
you
you will be
wanna
able to
go
relieve
home
you,
with
everybody
me?
of that. Yeah, if you want to go home with
I think it's
someone,
happening
we've
right
got
now.
Matilda in the corner from ChatGPT.
Yeah, she's our new
Matilda's
Lady.
it. That's it. She's it.
Matilda.
So Andy, you've done some major events. Like I seen on your Instagram recently, you've done an EDC.
Oh yeah, I just came back from.
Yeah,
DC.
how was that experience? That seems
It's the
that
third
looked
time when
crazy.
I've been working with Insomniac.
sure.
Yo,
Nice.
that's amazing, man. And the best part is that I'm working in a spot where I finish my job by midnight.
Oh, so then
That's a
leisure.
double-edged sword, man. That's a double-edged sword. It's like, great, I get out, but then you.
So
I gotta
till-
come back.
Yeah, every single year. So
Yeah.
till 5 a.m. The festival is mine.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
But-
that's amazing.
It seems like it's a very. I love the creativity of it. Anybody that you look at that performs or even visits EDC, it's all just. It's like a dream.
What location was the EDC at?
Vegas Motor Speedway.
And it's,
Speedway. Yeah.
each of the 3 times has been Vegas?
Yeah, the EDC is all over. Like they have in Vegas, they have in Orlando, they have in Mexico, and they have in a couple more locations. But like the Vegas one is the biggest one. Like they had like 170K people
Wow.
That's
this
crazy.
year. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
it's
ridiculous.
huge. It's like my hometown population, man. I'm telling you. So crowded.
And how did you get involved with that event?
It's all about connections, man. I met the actual F&B director for Insomniac. I met him a couple of years ago in a bar convent Brooklyn.
And
Okay.
and Insomniac is the production company that creates the.
They create the
Is that the
festival.
same
EDC.
company that does like the games?
I don't know. They do a couple more festivals.
Oh, right. Okay.
Like Electric Forest, something Escape or Escape, something like this. They have another festival for the Halloween. But Insomniac is behind of everything. Like they create everything, all these festivals. EDC
Yeah.
being the biggest creation of them. And the actual F&B director for Insomniac, I met him at a bar convention in Brooklyn a couple of years ago. He has a couple more businesses, which is Helix Vodka. He owns it. And I started, actually I was with a friend. He asked for a cigarette. He was outside.
You
Give us
asked them for
cigarette.
$1.
No, I didn't. I started asking for $1 out there. And we was like, hey, we bartenders. We working for Salve back in the day. Okay, let's come to my booth. Let me see what's up with you guys. And I started flirting a little bit. Yo, it's so cool. And since then we became friends. Every time he was like traveling back to New York, he was hitting me up. He was coming to my restaurant, the restaurant I was working at. And after that, he was like, hey, you want to work? Like 3 years ago, I'm gonna have my own project here in EDC camp. You want to work? I was like, yeah, fuck yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
why
since
not?
then, every single year.
Invited me to a party to work.
Yeah, so he told me, yeah, he told me the same thing. It's all about connections. Like that guy is so involved in everything of hospitality. So he knows, like if you go with him in Vegas, you will stay at every single party that you choose. You will stay like backstage. You know what I'm saying? Like right now at EDC, I lost my phone in the second day of it, but I found it. Meanwhile,
Where'd you find it?
he had it. He found the phone. He said like, he didn't know that it's mine, and he's like, yo, it's way safer if I'm gonna have it with me. And after that, I met him later. So this phone, oh fuck, this is my phone. Whatever. Like, you feel alright today? I feel better now. Even I missed all my artists that I was looking, all the DJs I was looking to see them. So hey, come with me. And he just brought me in the backstage right now with John Summit. And after John Summit, jumped Afrojack like 4 a.m. What was that?
Nice.
Oh, nice. I was
Big
yeah,
Daddy,
for
you
Jack
know.
Who's your
years
favorite
ago.
performance at the EDC?
Yo, Armin Van Buren, man.
Oh,
Like, that
yeah.
dude, like,
Jesus.
I have goosebumps every time I listen to his trance music. Like, I've been,
It's big in Europe, right?
yeah, like that since back home in Romania, back home in my home country, I've been listening to Armin Van Buren, and like, still, never disappointing. So that one was my favorite set so far.
Nice.
That I was attending.
I went
at
to
the
see
EDC.
Carl Cox in Bulgaria.
Oh.
Back in the day, I was like 16 or 17.
Oh,
It's crazy. On a
if
beach
it's East
in
Europe,
Bulgaria.
it's no regulations there, man.
Yeah,
You
no,
just
it's
like
just-
keep,
Do whatever you want.
till your body shuts down.
Yeah.
We have a couple of festivals in Romania, so the same. That's why they like to do festivals in Romania, because we don't have no regulations. Like, you keep on going till you shutting down,
Nice.
Literally.
Since we're on the subject of festivals, I got to tell you a very funny story, right? I'm not going to name any names because I don't want to get anyone in trouble. But
Trouble.
yeah, 100% trouble, right? One of my friends, his dad was always like one of the lads. He was a young dad, and he was always, every time we'd go out, he'd invite everyone back to his house. Like, and they had a big house. Like, in Ireland, it's huge, right? America houses are bigger, but this was like a 9-bedroom house, right? And a pool. It's huge. So every time we'd go out, he'd invite like half of the club. We'd actually, funny enough, so I was telling you before, we'd be at the Black Sheep. So this guy, he brought hat for the Black Sheep. The local nightclub and bar in my neighborhood that we would all go to was called the Black Sheep, and we all nicknamed it the Blacker. So every time, shout out to the Blacker. If you know, you know. Don't go. I was told not to go to the Blacker my whole life. When I got to like 16, 17, my mother would be like, you can go anywhere, don't go to the Blacker. It's like
And
notorious.
straight away.
First place we
First
ever
place
went,
to go,
right?
yeah, of course.
So my friend's dad, it's like, he was a legend. Every time there was anything going on, he was the guy. He was always involved in it. Right. He's young. He's married. He has like 9 kids. Right. He's a big family. Right. So I remember one time I'm back in Ireland, and Tomorrowland. You know Tomorrowland? Mm-hmm. So like Tomorrowland's coming up, and my friend's father, he like tells his mother that he's going to a stag party on like Northern Ireland, which is just like a 2-hour drive. So he's like, oh, I'm going to the weekend, going up to Northern Ireland, and I'm going with like, he goes with, so my friend, one of his like closest relatives, family members, was his cousin. And same, his older cousin would have been the same age as his father. So he says he's going up here with the guy's name, and turns out that he leaves the country and goes to Tomorrowland for a weekend. Right? Like, all his family thinks like he's like 2 hours away. This dude's like in his mid-40s in Tomorrowland, running around in a festival. with,
Just, like,
his
raving out
yeah,
there.
100%.
That's
And I
hilarious.
just remember like the younger cousin told me, and when he told me, he was like, look, don't tell such and such, because his dad was with my brother in Tomorrowland, but he can't know, because if he knows, his mom will know, and then all his sisters will know, and he'll go nuts. And I just remember being like, yo, this guy's dad just took a trip to Germany, or yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like Germany, and he's like away at the craziest festival in the world, while his whole family thinks that he's like up the road, staying in a hotel, just wetting the baby's head, having a drink. and he's in
He was, like,
Tomorrowland.
raving his ass
Raving,
off.
and all of us knew, like our whole friend group knew, and we just couldn't tell him.
That's
And then we'd see his dad, and we'd be out at the nightclub. We'd be in the Blacker, and his dad had turned up, and we'd be like, "How was Tomorrowland?" He was like, "Unreal, it's unreal." Yeah, unreal.
We gotta go.
I'm telling you, man. I miss festivals.
Whoa, why don't you go there no more? We have like a little one here, Electric Zoo in every September.
Oh
easier.
yeah.
It's
My,
I like
my
the
cousin
camping
went. He said it was amazing.
yeah,
In
so
Ireland, we had a big one called Oxygen.
Oxygen.
And it was
It's-
it got
they
shut
cancelled
down.
it, right?
They
Yeah.
cancelled it. 'Cause it was
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah.
It was
I
like
bet.
crazy. Like I worked at it a couple of times. So it's like for 4 days, people would just run and like jump on tents full of people every night, every morning. They're just, they're just fucking balling through it. But like I would love to go to a festival where we camp for a few days.
I
you
want
know?
to do Burning Man.
Yeah.
yeah, I haven't been yet.
I've heard
but
great
I want to
things.
do that, man.
I heard like
I was
it's an
this close to
experience
doing
You
it.
know
I
what we
continued
need to
this
do?
year.
We need to get Andy here to get a job at Burning Man, and we come up and visit him.
Yeah,
Is it?
Yeah,
that'd be
yeah.
dope.
You
We gotta
know.
get you to Burning Man. We're just gonna write them. Like, yeah, we got this guy.
There we go.
If they're watching the podcast, hit us up.
Shout out.
Burning Man, we need if you need bartenders, we need experiences. I'm ready to rock.
Burning Man.
Burning Man's one of the oldest running festivals, isn't it?
I believe so, man. Everybody's like out in the desert, right? And like they do like these big art pieces, and everybody's all around and partying and raving, and they're intense. Like I think like to get a tent is probably like $6,000, $7,000. Like,
What?
Yeah. Like for
But it's in the middle of nowhere, right? It's like
Yeah.
in a desert.
middle. Of
And I don't
nowhere.
know if I'd last in a desert.
It's going since
Yeah,
like the
right?
70s, I think, right?
40
It's an
days, 40
experience.
nights. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
they
it's
told
going
me
along.
last year, like, you should have a tent in a tent because of the
Heat.
sandstorm.
That
Oh,
comes
shit.
in.
You
Wow.
couldn't even sleep. You gotta wake up with sand in your freaking butthole.
Man, I just see
Sand
some
in your vagina.
some amazing costumes that people wear. Like it looks like futuristic, like almost like a Mad Max
Yeah.
kind of thing. Like
I have a
This is
question.
right.
If it's in the middle of a desert, who do you call to book the desert? Like if you're the events organizer, who do you get in touch with to like, I want to book this random space in the middle of this desert where there's no civilization? How do
I'm pretty sure somebody owns that land, and they've been.
You probably got to contact the state authorities or some shit.
I want to throw a huge festival in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Well, couldn't you just throw it and not tell anybody? You go it, right?
Yeah.
I
Just,
don't know, they
just bring
just show
everything
up,
in and just,
you know?
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They come and shut you down. but like,
Facebook group.
There's a secret
There's a
Facebook,
Facebook
group.
group.
Burning Man.
Right.
Yeah.
Matt, we should start our own one.
We can do
Not,
something out
not
here in the
bur-
woods.
Not Burning Man. Yeah. Oh, we could call it that. Something out here in the woods.
something out here in the woods.
Show up, bring costumes and drugs, I suppose, right? Like, is it even a festival if everybody's not on psychedelics? I
No.
feel like that's the whole thing with Burning Man, right? Everybody's just taking psychedelics.
Yeah,
Every
cool.
single
That's
festival,
every
not
festival.
only,
though.
you know.
Yeah.
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 I feel like maybe Burning Man is notorious for like acid and mushrooms, and then like the likes of EDC and stuff, people are like on Molly and ecstasy,
Yeah, a lot.
right?
of it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what they're like. Whereas like I feel like Burning Man, Burning Man's like spiritual, or at least like that's the like what it showcases or what it pushes. It's like, oh, we're spiritual, we're hippies. Everybody come out into the desert and we're gonna just trip on acid for 3 days,
Yeah.
and you know,
I feel like that's the part of festivals that everybody knows about, but nobody talks about.
yeah.
Yeah.
What happens
Right.
at Burning
Like-
Man stays at Burning
Yeah,
Man.
it's like between the lines, but the space between the lines is this much. It's like
You know what's
Maybe
up,
you
man.
don't remember it, like what happened. Yeah. So how was
That's
it?
it,
Like,
right?
yo, to be honest, I just show up there and like, I just got some things, someone give it to me. So I just woke up the next day. But it was nice.
I woke up the next day
As vague as possible.
My butt was sore.
it's covered in sand.
So to say on the same note, actually, well, into the spirituality, I went to a non-alcoholic cocktail bar this week called Hikete. Might be butchering the pronunciation because I think it's named after some sort of goddess, right? And when I went in, I wasn't expecting what I got. I don't drink alcohol, so I'm like checking out non-alcoholics, and I'm very interested in the new trend of non-alcoholic, cocktails. So there's this one place, it's down in like Lower Manhattan. It's called Hikete. It's like down in the ABCs, and I go in and they have like a whole back bar full of non-alcoholic spirits. So I'm like, all right, cool. It's like, then I realize I'm like, okay, this is like run by people who are very big into like witchcraft, right? Which I probably should have gathered before I got there, because the name of the drinks and the name of the restaurant and the picture on their Instagram and stuff. Now, I'm not taking away from it. Like, whatever you're into is great. Like, they're probably like, readers or whatever, spiritual healers, whatever you want to call it. But I'm looking around. I'm like, oh, they've got some crazy artwork here. Then I'm drinking some of the non-alcoholics, which were honestly pretty good. But I wanted to get into like, actually, they had CBD and THC infused cocktails, which I don't know. And like, I'm sure that they're able to navigate whatever the legal.
And was it infused with like Eye of Newton, sorcery, and like
That's-
Tears of the Innocent?
Yeah,
and all that kind of
100%.
shit?
Like, I
Tears of the
definitely
innocent.
feel like at some point I signed away my soul when
Yeah.
I was in there, right? Like,
Yeah.
there was definitely like an aspect of just heathenism
Yeah,
when
of
I was
course.
in there, right? And
They've been to Burning Man.
yeah, 100%. They burnt the man.
They burnt
They
the
definitely burnt the man. So, but
Had a
they-
Pentagon in the basement,
it was a good concept. The concept of like the non-alcoholic cocktail bar, it's definitely something that's becoming more prominent. And now with like people being on the legality of the THC and the CBD, it's like they're calling it canna cocktails. So
What is it?
Canna cocktails.
Canna cocktail?
So they had like a canna cocktail, and it had like it's 5% THC and whatever, like 0.8% CBD. So like I didn't get one, but they had it on the menu and stuff, and like the person I was with got one. I tasted it and I was like, it didn't taste like anything, but they did say like it mellowed them out. But I'm just like, I wonder, is that a new thing that you're going to see a lot of coming into with the younger generations, where like weed has been legal now, and like if you're like 16 and weed's legalized, by the time you're 21 and you start drinking, maybe you go out and you have canna cocktails instead of alcoholic cocktails. And they pushed it big, and they had a full bar. It was a Saturday night. They had a full bar. All the tables were full. I had to stand until I got a seat. And then I was just surprised. I'm like, the cocktails are the same price, like $14 to like $17. Yeah. And then it's like, if you are someone who wants to drink and socialize, it wasn't my kind of space, just because of like I spoke about the kind of vibe that it was, witchery or whatever. But I could see if it was more tailored towards somewhere I would go, like, employees only, and it had non-alcoholics. It's the social aspect is there. Like, you're meeting people. There was a lot of girls there. There's a couple of dudes there. It was like, there was definitely people socializing.
Why
And
you don't
then,
drink alcohol?
Same reason I don't drink alcohol.
Like,
I'm a fool when I'm drunk.
man,
This is
and it-
like you own a cocktail bar, but you don't drink alcohol. Like,
yeah,
And he
I
makes great
taste everything.
cocktails as
You
well.
know
So
what
How
it is?
can you talk about cocktails if you don't drink?
So I taste everything, but I've drank more alcohol in the years that I drank than most people. Like, I started drinking at 14, and I was like drinking a bottle of Captain Morgan when I was 16. And I got to a point where when I was like 16 and 17, so I was into martial arts, and I boxed, and I was always into like, competition. So in the times where I was competing, I wouldn't drink. But then when I wasn't competing, I would drink. And I would go like and drink a whole bottle of Captain Morgan, and I just changed personality. And like all of my friends would be like, "Oh, we're all going out," and then they'd be like,
So if you cannot really handle it, if you drink.
like it's more. Yeah, I definitely I strip and I get naked every single time, and like every time, like my
What's
clothes
wrong with
come
it?
off. In Ireland, nothing, but in America, you go to jail. In America, it's like in Ireland,
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah,
It's
he's on top of the
normal.
car
Yeah,
and
it's
he's
normal.
naked. Fine,
Yeah.
take it. This is
It
hilarious.
is normal.
right?
It is normal.
But in America, it's like you're now in 100 feet of a school, even though it's 1 a.m, and now you're going on the sex offender register. Not that ever happened to me, but that's like something that I'm caught. I'm like, right, you can't. Yourself, America is a lot more tame. Right, like there's a lot more rules and regulations. It's like in America, if you do something wrong, you're gonna get in trouble. Whereas like in Romania, you might get away with it, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it mightn't even be something you need to get away with. It might just be looked at as like, he's just an idiot.
Yeah.
Right, it's
Yeah,
like
just
whatever. Like in Ireland, it's like, there's 20 people brawling in Temple Bar, and it's like, you guys go this way and you guys go that way. Where in America, it's like they've incited a riot. Now you're
Yeah.
gonna be charged with some like, I don't know, you're
Just
going
getting
to prison
took
for
a
10
piece,
years or something
friggin'
crazy.
next to a tree.
So it's like, I found myself to be too loose when I drank alcohol, and I definitely have a problem in every aspect with moderation. So if I start drinking,
You just keep on going.
I'll drink like a lot, and I don't have like, let me have 3. Like my tree is like I'm gonna drink 3 bottles of liquor. And same, it's like honestly, it's like if I smoke, I never smoked pot my whole life, and then at 26 for the first time I smoked pot, and it was like, oh, let me try this, and then I was like, wow, like I to the end of the bag real quick. So I feel like I'm that way with everything where I go in
All
no
in?
moderation.
Go
Yeah,
all
I'm
in.
all
If
in.
you're
I'm
gonna do
like
it,
have a
you're gonna
zero
go.
moderation. So it's not. I can have like I went out to Bar Americano, which if you haven't checked out in Brooklyn, shout out to Bar Americano. Psh, that's
He's been talking about it. He's been recommending that I go there. I'm gonna go check it out this week.
Bar
actually.
Americano. It's run by. It definitely has Irish
What do you have
ownership. It's very forward on vermouths and aperitifs. So they had a whole wall, probably the size of like this wall of just vermouths, and it's very bright. It's nice. It's light. It almost gave me Dante vibes, but a little bit more fresh. And I actually had one thing that I had was, and I passed. I was with, I tasted it and I passed it off, but I had a mezcal gimlet.
Yo, we should hang out together, man.
should,
You just
man.
like
We'll go
taste
out.
everything, pass it to me.
I'll pass to you. So I had a mezcal gimlet, and they had a Genevieve Dolan in it, and they also had some cucumber in it. So it was very simple, but it was very, very good. And then also they had I don't know if you've heard of this. There's like a French melon aperitif called Elrid melon, which like it's very, if you know melon liquors, it's Midori. Right, and everyone knows Midori, and it's like terrible. It's like this terrible liquor that's like bright green and it looks fake. And now they came out with this like French melon liqueur by Elrid, and it's called Melon. And when you taste it, it's just canopy melon. That's a cantaloupe. I'm sorry, cantaloupe melon. So it's like I hadn't gotten, except for in Katana Kitten, when I tried a highball with whiskey and melon. That was the only cocktail I ever got that I liked with melon, and they used fresh melon juice. When I went to Bar Americano, they made me a spritz, and the spritz was like a variation of a regular spritz. They used a little bit of vermouth, a little bit of elderflower, and a decent amount of the Elrid melon, topped off with some champagne, and they had like some fresh cantaloupe in it, and it was like one of the best summer cocktails that I've had. But
You just had a sip.
it was amazing. It was amazing. Honestly, I was like, I could drink 10 of these, but I'm like, I'm gonna end up naked in Brooklyn, right? It won't be naked. I'll be really naked and famous. But they have a very classic style of cocktail, and it's just like, it's very French, very European. But the guys are, I think, Irish and maybe Venezuelan who run it. But you should check it out. Bar Americano is great. But that's why I don't drink, man. If I drink, honestly, I end up just like
Not being
going
yourself.
way overboard, and then I'm like, I'm not even a problem. I'm just like a messy joker. and like what I think is funny is to go into the bathroom and to come out with my pants around my ankles, which like in Ireland when I was 16 and 17, it was funny. It was like, I thought this is America. I'm walking around like Randy Marsh from South Park, my pants around my ankles. But then as you get older, it's like, who's
How many
this?
years of sobriety you had?
So since I'm 23, I've been pretty sober now. I've had a drink here and there, but I
How
haven't.
old are you now?
I'm 30. So it's been about 7 years.
That's
and
been a
even
while.
and even before that, honestly, from like 20 to 23, it would have been like once every 2 or 3 months.
Yo, that's
So I
my age when I
slowly-
took off. I'm like 23. I was like, bro, that's so good. That's my period of time when I was been drinking all that.
I'm a big advocate for alcohol.
Man, I think it's like the next day for me. You know, like if you want to be
especially, yeah.
responsible, like it's
Yeah.
like, damn, the next day is so hard when you're freaking having a
Yeah.
good
Yeah,
time.
you lost the next day.
My productivity is down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
and
it,
the
100%.
truth about it is you're gonna have to do the responsibilities you have to do them regardless. So and it's gonna be difficult anyway. So like, do you want to feel like shit when you gotta
Exactly.
do it, or do you
Well,
want
Or
to
just
like,
get another shot, you know.
I was telling him, I was like, I did Vegas for my
Suck.
27th birthday. I spent a week.
Honestly,
You can't.
the social aspect of like if there was just 3 drinks and there wasn't any more, or I'm at Christmas and we're having a couple of Irish coffees and some wine, the social aspect of lubricating up the conversation with some alcohol does make it flow better, and you definitely have a more enjoyable time, you know? When I have like 3 drinks and I'm starting to feel a little bit warm and a little bit jolly, the conversation just flows. Yeah, exactly. Now 4 and 5 drinks, and it's like, why is he putting that in the light socket? You know, what's going on over here? But you know, I do miss that aspect of it. But at the same time, listen,
Are you aggressive when you drink?
nah, I'm not aggressive really. Like,
Not really, huh?
no, I couldn't be reactive for sure. But I feel like that's a situational thing of like, if somebody hit me, I definitely would hit them back. But I've never been a bully. Like, I'm not gonna be the type of guy who I don't feel I'm pretty confident guy where I don't need to put like I don't need to like
Yeah, I feel it.
I don't need to push other people's boundaries. I'm more of a like an Irish idiot where I start joking. I'm more of a like fucking jester. So I'm like, what I think is funny is actually obnoxious. Right? And then it's like, all right, maybe I overstepped and this guy's pissed off with me, and at that point I need to go home. But the reality is like I kind of like to keep my etiquette how I want it to be. I don't like when I'm out of character because I, you know, did something that I in a normal state wouldn't have done. Like
I'm on the other hand, like when I drink, bro, like that's why thanks God, you know, he made me just like 140 pounds, you know. Nothing like when I'm drinking, bro, I became so aggressive. Like I'm
Yeah, you do.
like, bro, like I just looking out for a fight with anyone, you know.
yeah.
Which is not good because I can end it up very bad. You know, my body doesn't really help me. So I have such a big mouth when I'm drinking.
Oh shit.
I'm always looking out for like something to bully. What's up? You know what I'm saying?
Pressing people.
Yeah.
But
And
you
every
know
time when I
what?
wake up the next day, it's like, bro, like, yo, stop doing this, bro. You cannot end it up.
Hey, you don't strike me as like an aggressive kind of dude. You actually strike me as like a real nice
Yeah, you're very
and
friendly.
Sociable, yeah.
and I feel like you'd be a good crack to hang out with. So for you to say that
But
you would get very
you know
aggressive,
what? When you're in a group of people, I
fun.
feel like the different like characteristics, they can be okay. Like if we're out and like James is not aggressive at all, and then you're an asshole when you're drunk, say, and then I'm a fucking jokester. It's like sometimes that's okay. It's more like if you're by yourself and people, if you're left
No, I
with
have
no
a bigger
friends.
attitude. Like
Yeah,
if I
this
know
one.
that I'm two big guys next to me, I'll be like, yo, you looking at me, bro?
Shoot him from the hip.
Let's see, guys.
Get him.
Yeah.
That's
hilarious.
funny. Yeah, but man, honestly, each to their own. Like, you know, I'm not against it either. Like, you know,
It's
you only
good.
get
That
to
could be
live
good
once.
crack on a fun
That's what
night,
I'm
you
saying.
know?
Like, you only get to live
How's-
once. Sometimes
how's
you just
time
gotta
and
have a
space?
bit of fun with it. You know.
Live
When
once
are we
but
going
longer.
out? When are we going out? Yeah. Cancel the podcast.
Yeah.
We're going out.
We're going out.
Oh,
Looking
guys,
for some trouble.
I'm gonna have to be excused. I have a photo shoot set up. I'm taking pictures of somebody. Gotta catch this train.
All right,
But
lads.
Andy, thanks for coming on.
Of
It was
course,
great
man.
having you.
Honestly, it's getting to about that time, lads, right? So, Andy, yeah, what are you trying to promote right now? What's the next big thing coming up in your schedule, or where are you going to be? Tell the people where they can find you, your Instagram tag, and maybe if they wanted to come and see one of your acts, what's the next
Yo,
thing you
I'm
got?
always from one week to another, so I'm never really planning, you know, ahead of time and everything. I know for sure that I might be in North Carolina end of this month.
Nice.
A friend of mine is gonna open a spot out there, a new bar.
Nice.
But like,
What's the name of it, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't remember.
In Charleston?
So I know for sure it's Kingston,
Kingston. Okay.
Okay.
Kingston,
nice.
the city, in North Carolina. But I don't know the name of the bar.
So you'll be over
But like,
there.
you
If
guys
you're going to
can,
be in Kingston, follow Andy's Instagram. He got you.
yeah, just follow on MDFK Andy on Instagram, or actually on all the platforms. I'm mostly on Instagram over there. I'm gonna like, you know, keep everyone updated what I'm gonna be, what type of events and where it's gonna happen, and where I'm gonna have any type of, you know, event or like shift bartender shift, guest shift bartender.
Hopefully, when we get OMC open, we can get you in for a night
That's
and have
it.
a bit of crack also, right?
Let's see, we're gonna,
Yeah, 100%.
we're gonna drink
It'd be
some
great to get behind the
cocktails
bar with you.
and we're gonna fight with everyone's getting.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
Of
All right,
course,
lads.
All right, guys.
Naked and Famous podcast. We're back.
Thanks for tuning
Check us
in,
out
guys.
next
gang,
week.
gang, big boys.